Those summers felt like they would last forever. I still remember my red Schwinn bicycle, a 10th birthday gift that gleamed like treasure under the sun. The first time I rode it out of our driveway. Wind rushing past my cheeks, heart pounding. With the thrill of freedom, it was the moment a kid like me felt like he owned the whole world. There we were, Jimmy, Mike, myself, and Buck the dog riding through tree-lined streets. Stopping by the corner soda shop to ask for cold water. Then heading straight for the open fields on the edge of town. No phones, no schedules, just the sound of laughter, the crunch of tires on gravel, and the scratchy voice of Elvis Presley coming from the small radio strapped to my back fender. Singing hound dog like he was singing just for us. That bike wasn't just a way to get round. It was a gateway to a bigger world where secret ponds waited behind tall grass, where we built forts under the old bridge, and where I had my first clumsy kiss beneath the fading light of a summer evening. It was the summer of '61 when I first took Mary to the corner ice cream shop. I was 13, and she had freckles, a ribbon in her hair, and the kind of smile that made you forget your own name. The shop sat on Maple Street, just 2 blocks from the park. It had red and white striped awnings, a jingling bell on the door, and a counter lined with chrome stools that squeaked when you turned. Inside, it always smelled like fresh waffle cones and sugar. I had exactly 50 cents in my pocket, enough for 2 scoops each. She picked vanilla with rainbow sprinkles, and I went with chocolate fudge. We sat at the booth by the window, watching bikes pass and the sun drift low through the glass. I don't remember what we talked about. Maybe the school fair, maybe her new puppy. What I do remember is how my hand brushed hers by accident, and how neither of us moved it away. That moment, small, quiet, innocent, was everything. Back then, before television took over our evenings, the radio was the heart of the house. Ours sat in the living room, a big wooden cabinet with glowing dials and warm static that filled the room like a heartbeat. After dinner, Dad would tune into the news while Mom were on the couch, and when the sun dipped low, that's when the magic started. The music would begin. Elvis, Chuck Berry, Buddy Holly. I'd sit cross-legged on the carpet, eyes closed, letting the rhythm carry me somewhere far beyond our little town. On warm nights, I'd sneak my pocket radio into bed, hiding it under my pillow. Elvis singing Can't Help Falling in Love felt like it knew all the feelings I didn't have words for yet. That music didn't just entertain us, it understood us. Even now, when I hear those old tunes crackle through a vintage speaker, I'm right back there barefoot on the rug, lost in the sound, believing for a moment that anything was possible. I'll never forget the night the television arrived. It was 1957. Dad had saved up for months to buy it, a black and white Zenith, with dials that clicked and a screen no bigger than a sheet of paper. The whole neighborhood crowded into our living room like it was Christmas morning. The screen flickered to life with fuzzy lines. Then there it was, the Ed Sullivan Show. It felt like watching the future unfold right there in our tiny living room. The images were grainy, but to us, it was magic. I remember the way my little sister gasped when a cartoon came on, or how Grandpa leaned in, squinting like the screen might speak directly to him. That TV didn't just change how we saw things, it changed who we were. And every time I see static on a screen today, part of me still expects Ed Sullivan to step out and wave hello. You didn't need a national park to go on an adventure. Your backyard was enough. One summer evening, Jimmy and I pitched a tent under the old oak tree behind my house. We brought flashlights, comic books, lemonade, and a paper bag full of marshmallows from Mom's pantry. The sky turned deep blue, fireflies blinked across the yard, and we roasted marshmallows over a makeshift fire. Half were burnt to a crisp, but they tasted like heaven. We told ghost stories, laughed until we couldn't breathe, and whispered promises of lifelong friendship. Lying in our sleeping bags, I remember asking, "Do you think we'll always be best friends?" Jimmy just nodded in the dark, those nights smelling of smoke and sugar. Wrapped in the safety of a backyard we thought was the entire world still lived somewhere deep in me. Just 3 blocks from home stood Mr. Bennett's corner store, small, worn, and full of magic, shelves stacked with cereal boxes, jars of gumballs, comic books in crates. Mr. Bennett knew us all. He'd nod, adjust his glasses, and sometimes slip us a piece of licorice. On the house, we'd trade coins for a candy, sip cola from glass bottles, and sit on the front steps watching the world go by. That little store wasn't just where we bought things. It was where the town breathed, where stories were shared and everyone belonged. There was something sacred about the school library. Dusty shelves, sun filtering through tall windows. And Mrs. Caldwell, the librarian, with soft eyes and a voice like a lullaby. She handed me Tom Sawyer once, and it changed everything. I read it at lunch, on the bus, by flashlight at night. Every page a new world. That place wasn't just about books. It was about freedom, the kind that lived in imagination and ink. The first snowfall always felt like a miracle. Silence covered the world. Streets turned white. We rushed outside, boots crunching, cheeks stinging from the cold. We built snowmen, made snow angels, and threw snowballs until the sky turned grey. That night, cocoa in hand, socks drying by the fire, I sat smiling, frozen fingers, warm heart. Some nights we didn't go anywhere. We just sat on the front porch. Dad in his rocker, Mom stitching quietly. We kids watched fireflies blink in the grass, tried to catch them in jars, and whispered secrets into the dark. The world felt slow, peaceful, like it was meant to be lived that way. No rush, no noise, just crickets, breeze, and belonging. And then, just like that, summer began to fade. The air turned cool. Fireflies vanished. The last popsicle melted too quickly. School loomed, and the bikes sat still against the fence. But we carried it all with us, every laugh, every scraped knee, every bit of sunburned joy. Summer lived in us. And we always said the same thing. Next summer, we'll do it all again.